Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Gail Snyder. I'm the Executive Director for Dementia Friendly Fort Worth. We are proud to offer this program with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and United Way of Tarrant County. Our programs are recorded and are made available for future use through a YouTube channel. And today is Cookie Conversations, but I'm adding a twist. Since it's the end of the year, we are cooking something savory.
Ooh.
Oh, yummy.
Oh, does that look good?
We are making homemade Chinese egg rolls, and this is a family favorite, and it's a recipe that I concocted all on my own.
Yay.
So I've just listed your ingredients because you can make as little or as much of this as you want, depending on how many egg rolls you're trying to make. So have any of you ever made egg rolls before?
No.
No.
No? Okay. So this is a pretty simple recipe, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it, because it's something that you could repeat easily and have something savory that's a good snack food, but it's also a good meal. We add it and make a full Chinese meal that we usually have either on Christmas Eve or sometimes on New Year's Day, with sweet and sour chicken and fried rice and egg rolls and wontons.
And it's all
We'll
delivered.
We'll be there whenever you have.
You'll be
shoot out an email blast. We'll be there.
What did you say, Leona?
I said it's all very delicious. It's her nephew's favorite things that she cooked.
Okay.
Good to know.
So
I can't imagine her making a bad bite of anything.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree.
Not Betty Crocker.
True. That's true. There's a lot, so she's really good.
okay, so we are going to get started. I'm going to adjust my camera so you can see. On my counter here, I already have pulled out my supplies. I have about a half of a head of regular cabbage, and you can also use some red cabbage if you choose. We have carrots, which we're going to shred. Onion, and it doesn't matter. You can use purple onion, white onion, yellow onion. I usually have yellow because that's what I have. And then we are also going to use, and these just happen to be vegan, but they don't have to be, egg roll wrappers. And these are sometimes difficult to find in the grocery store. Look where the biscuits are, but sometimes in the produce section. If I go to a different store, I always have to ask.
What's the label?
It's
The brand?
Nasoya.
Nasoya. Okay.
It's a different brand at every store.
Okay.
And I think when I bought these, it was the last two packages they had. So I just bought what they had. So, and I've already, over on the stove, I have browned some ground beef so that it will be ready for the other vegetables. So what I'm going to do, and I'll try to turn this where you can see, is I'm going to chop my cabbage, and I want to do it very thin. So you can see these are thin shreds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to use like a regular grater because it makes it too small. But I'm just going to chop some of this cabbage. And again, if I'm making it for the whole family of 12 to 14, I'm probably going to use almost a whole head of cabbage. But I'm not going to make that much today, so we'll use part of it.
So you're just making enough for your lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
cruel.
I agree.
But you know we love you, Gail.
I did have a sampling New Year's Eve, so I have had some recently.
I may have to go to the grocery store after this is over.
Well, I have
store should be a 4-letter word.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put in a quick grocery order because I realized I was out of pineapple and pineapple juice to make the sweet and sour sauce. And we'll be having this either for dinner tonight or lunch tomorrow. Okay, so I've got the cabbage chopped.
Whoa, landslide.
Good
It's alive
catch.
and well, moving right along.
That was a good catch.
All right, so we're gonna put the cabbage into this other bowl. And then I'm gonna shred the carrots, and I've already peeled the carrots. So I'm gonna shred the carrots.
Oh, it's alive and well.
My
Touche.
blender actually has a carrot shredder that I could use. And this would probably go a little faster. But you can put as little or as much carrot in as you want. This is one of those recipes that if somebody asks for it, it's hard to give it to them because I don't have a written recipe.
Hey, how's the weather over there in Fort Worth?
It's raining.
Yes,
It's raining here too.
and cold.
30 something.
It's 40 degrees here.
Ooh. Oh, cool. You have one of those indoor outdoor things, huh?
No, I have a Google, whatever it is. It's like the yours, but it's the Google brand.
Of a
Uh-huh.
weather center.
No, it's the
Or you can ask it just any question.
yeah, it's the one you can ask questions. It does
Oh, like
music.
Alexa?
It's like that. Yes.
Okay.
I
Okay,
didn't want to say it because Martha's would then activate, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
so now I'm going to peel the onion.
You can always try to giggle when you Google.
And hope that this onion doesn't make me start to cry.
You need onion goggles.
Onion goggles, would that really work?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like swimming goggles.
Only they fit a little more comfortably.
Never heard of that.
Really?
I have no,
Learned something new today.
I know what my new treasure hunt is now.
That's right. Well, it's called Amazon
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
or Williams and Sonoma.
Ah, I love their pumpkin butter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now with the onion is I'm gonna cut it in half and then I'm gonna put it in slivers. Not really chopped, but just slivers. And again, depends on how much onion you like, but it really cooks and adds to the flavor. So I'm gonna do about 3/4 of this onion. I'm going to add that to our other ingredients. And now we're going to take a trip across the kitchen.
All right.
Along with me.
Oh, don't forget to send a postcard.
Don't forget to what?
I said, don't forget to send us a postcard since you're taking a trip.
Okay. So now on the stove, I already have my ground beef, and you can do the egg rolls vegan without meat, but you can also use ground beef, you can use chopped pork, you could use chopped turkey or chicken. We typically use ground beef or pork, but I've chosen to do ground beef today. And so I'm going to add all the vegetables into the skillet.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Did you preheat it, and is there any oil in it?
There is a little bit of soy sauce, and I'm going to add some more soy sauce.
Okay.
I'm also going to put in a little bit of water to get it started cooking. gonna get that cooking, and then I'm gonna add some soy sauce, and I don't have measurements for this. It's kind of one of those, how does it taste?
Yeah.
You just have to remember that soy sauce is very salty. So this is the less sodium soy sauce.
Yeah.
Always a good idea.
So we're gonna get that started cooking, and I'm gonna grab a lid.
I'm going to give you guys an aside. This is the first day I've worn a sweater with this bird, and he's climbing down my arm, and he doesn't understand that he's getting caught. What is this? I'm
is-
sticking.
This is a bird trap.
Yes, it's a bird trap. Oh, it's sweet baby.
So I'm also going to add some garlic, and I like to use this pre-minced garlic because I use so much garlic.
Mm-hmm.
This is really handy to use. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of the garlic and spread that in. And some egg roll recipes call for a little bit of ginger,
You are so kind to call me back. Are you the second person I talked to today or the first person?
but
called
I
somebody
don't really care for the taste of ginger in my egg rolls. But if it's a flavor that you like in an egg roll, you certainly can add that. Just,
Ginger, you say?
yes.
Hmm,
To me,
interesting.
ginger goes in a cookie, not in an egg roll.
I agree.
One of the Chinese restaurants that we sometimes go to, for a while, they were putting ginger in their egg rolls, and I got to where I didn't even want to order them.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like a recipe my wife does, but she does put it in the wrapper. It's called egg roll in a bowl.
I was gonna
I
say,
like that.
you can do this the same way, and if you're trying to watch your fats, that's where you can use the ground turkey instead of ground beef or
Yeah.
pork. Okay, so I'm turning this fire up so we can kind of get this going, and I'm going to add just a little bit more water.
We do a version, we don't put the soy sauce in it, and then we put canned biscuits on top and put it in the oven and
Wow.
bake the biscuits.
You put what on top of it? Biscuits?
It's like grand biscuits,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Paul,
or you can roll the biscuits out and fold it over the mixture.
So that would be like
shepherd's pie.
pie.
Yeah.
Paulette, when Bob was in the room, I muted you because he was on the phone, so you'll need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, we don't always have wrappers on hand, so we started doing the other version,
That's
and we all
cool.
really like it.
I think that's so interesting. It says mute, so you think the mute button's on and it's really off.
Yeah.
I have a hard time remembering. Wait a
Good
minute.
morning, Janine.
Glad you did. Morning, Janine. Oops. Slipped right out of our fingers.
So this is starting to simmer. So one of the things that I do whenever I start to form the egg rolls is you have to keep the wrappers and the egg rolls that you've wrapped covered with a damp paper towel or a damp cloth, otherwise they dry out really quickly. And if you do multiple layers in the dish, it's important to put wax paper between them because they stick together. And then it tears the wrapper and all of the contents of the wrapper fall out into the skillet when you brown it. So we're gonna let this simmer for just a few minutes. And while we do that, I'll tell you a little bit about what we do for the wonton wrappers. What I do is I brown whatever meat I'm going to use and add extra soy sauce and extra garlic and chop it up as fine as I can. And then I put that into one of the wrappers and just fry that, and we call that the wontons.
Oh, okay.
It's just a really garlicky meat inside the crispy wrapper. And you kind of fold it in a triangle. I meant to save out some of this meat so I could show you how to do that, and I neglected to do that. So
what else goes in the wonton wrap? What else?
in the wontons, it's just the chopped meat and garlic and
Okay.
soy sauce.
Soy sauce. Okay, thank you.
And you just chop the meat up real fine and cook it, and then put a pinch of it in the wrapper and close the wrapper up.
Mhm.
And we use a mixture of water and cornstarch to seal the wrappers.
Yes.
So we'll do that here in just a few minutes.
When you say that, you mean like it makes a paste?
Yes, you make a paste out of it and use it as the to seal the edges of the egg roll wrapper or the wonton.
That's cool.
My husband's family used to make crab rangoon wontons.
Mm.
I haven't made those by myself because most of my family doesn't like them, but those are pretty good. So I could look up a recipe for that and send that out with this. So this
That'd be
is
great.
starting to simmer, not quite ready yet. So do any of you have that tradition where you've gone to a Chinese restaurant on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or New Year's, because that was partly because that was all that was open?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Oh, boy. I think we did it once,
Yes.
Um,
That and Denny's.
Denny's.
we used to go to a church with a family that they would go to the Christmas Eve service, and then they would have picked out a new Chinese place that they had never been before. And they would go to a new Chinese place every year after Christmas Eve service.
How cool.
So,
Well, being the only Jewish person in the room, I can tell you that the Jews celebrate Christmas by eating Chinese out and going to the movies.
That's right.
Since Jews aren't celebrating Christmas, and the Chinese places are always open, and usually the movie houses are open except for 2020.
I used to work for 2 rabbis at Temple Emmanuel here in town.
Oh,
And then
cool.
The rabbi that I worked for, he lived in a place called, he was from California. And our son-in-law is from California, and his family is Jewish.
Mhm.
Come to find out that the rabbi that I worked for lived 2 blocks away from Joel's family. Can you believe that? When we went out to visit Joel, of course, we went to see Rabbi Mintz, and it was so cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
He unfortunately, I'm sure he's in heaven somewhere. Because
Of
he was a
course.
great guy.
So we did that last year because we were traveling on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day to Missouri.
Mhm.
And so
Oh,
we had Mexican on Christmas Eve. And then we went to see a new movie Christmas morning. And then we had Chinese for lunch before we went the rest of the way to our destination. And
where were you going? I grew up in St. Louis. Where were you going?
we were actually going to Puxico. Okay, so now that we have sauteed our vegetables, you can see I have them here in the pan. They're sauteed, and we are ready to put our egg rolls together. So we're going to start with an individual egg roll wrapper and place that here on our counter so you can see what we're going to do. Let me adjust the camera so you can see a little better. There we are. So now I have the egg roll wrapper with the corner pointed towards me, and I'm going to take a spoonful of the vegetable mixture and drain it so that the juice doesn't soak into the wrapper. And I'm going to fold the corner over, pull it towards me tight, and then fold in the left side and the right side. And then we're going to use our cornstarch paste as the way to seal the egg roll. And then we're going to wrap that over and roll it to make it close. So let's do another one, just so you can get the hang of how that works. So lay the egg roll wrapper with the corner pointed towards you. We want a nice drained spoonful of our mix that includes whatever type of meat you've decided you want to use for yours. We've used ground beef. Fold over that corner and pull it tight to seal that in. And then you want to bring over the left corner and the right corner, and it looks a little bit like an envelope, if you can see that. Looks a little like an envelope. Then we're going to roll it so that we've got another layer of our pastry covering up the mix, and then we're going to seal it with the cornstarch mix and complete the roll. And then we have a nicely formed egg roll, and these are ready for frying. So now let's take a walk over to the stove where we will brown these egg rolls. Hope I don't make you dizzy while we're moving about the kitchen. So let's finish getting our oil warmed up. I love the ability to adjust the flame with the gas stove. So that'll take just a few minutes. So another thing that I do with the egg rolls is I make what I call wontons, and I use just the meat with garlic and soy sauce as the filling, and then you have like a chip with a little bit of meat in it, and it's great to dip in the sweet and sour sauce that we also use to dip the egg rolls in. So let's take a peek and see if our oil is ready. Needs just a few more minutes because we want it to start to bubble the wrapper on the egg roll. The insides are all done, so all we are doing is frying the egg roll to crisp that wrapper to give it that crunch. As Paulette says, if it doesn't crunch, it isn't lunch. All right. So have any of you ever made egg rolls? Or how about visited a Chinese restaurant for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or even for New Year's? The egg rolls and the sweet and sour chicken is one of our family favorites, especially for that big meal that we do on New Year's Day. All right, so I think our oil is hot enough that we can put these in. And it's starting to bubble up a little bit. And I'm going to do a little bit of repair work on this first one that we made. It looks like it's coming apart. Roll this back together. And then we'll put this in the skillet to brown it. All right, that grease is starting to sizzle. If you can see that. And again, all we want to do is lightly brown it to give it that crunch. So this is a family favorite that I adapted the recipe from different Chinese places that we had visited when we lived in Springfield, Missouri. And now we use this as one of our favorite meals. So these are starting to sizzle up and bubble up the pastry on the outside of the egg roll wrapper. You could also cook these in the air fryer and brush them with oil or a little bit of butter or nonstick spray just to help it crisp up a little. I don't happen to have an egg fryer, but I think you could do that. I'm going to go ahead and flip this one over so you can see it's starting to brown just a little. Not only do these make a great family meal, but it's a great snack if you're trying to do some appetizers. And another thing that you can do is if you make the vegetable meat inside for the egg rolls, you don't have to put it all in wrappers today. You could refrigerate it in an airtight container and put the rest of it into wrappers on the day that you're going to cook them. The egg roll wrappers are very thin, so they absorb the moisture in the cabbage onion mix, and so they don't last too long in the refrigerator uncooked. And there we are. This first one is done, so we'll add it to our platter to drain off the excess oil. This one needs just another minute so that it'll be nice and crisp. All right. Now we have our egg rolls ready. So you can see those look very delicious. Now let's take a peek and see what the inside looks like. And there you have it. And it's ready to eat. Some sweet and sour sauce to dip that in makes it a perfect meal. I hope you're all hungry. Now let's see what's up for tomorrow. Our session tomorrow will be with Miss Martha, and we will be talking about black-eyed peas and resolutions. I hope you can join us. Have a great rest of your day and a happy new year. Bye now.